try and guess the winners of the Elimination Chamber for our watch party. Now, I'm just going to try and get the chat live on my screen. So just very, very slowly loading up. And let's just make sure that it does indeed work. There we go. Alex Gardner says hi. Hello, Alex. Although, interestingly, the chat is not coming up at the bottom. There we go. Now it is coming up. Something that I need to check. And you know what? I think we are going to give away some free gifted memberships to the Grand Cat Grand Fleet out there. So here we are. 5 paid memberships from the Grand Cat to Alex Gardner, Chandler Huggins, Obese Ugandan Father, Famous Amos, and Quindal's Dan. Congratulations to each of you. You all now have the free gifted membership for a full month, which gives you access to a variety of different Grand Cat emojis, as well as access to over 100 exclusive videos on my channel for being a member. So congratulations to all of you. And you know what? I think I enjoyed that so much that I'm going to do it again. Here we go. Another 5, 10 free gifted Grand Cat subs. Congratulations to David Barlow, Habs, Popcorn Willie, Shazzy Amos, and Jimmy Snooker. Congratulations to all of you. We have given away 10 free gifted memberships from the Grand Cat to the Grand Cat Grand Fleet. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Elimination Chamber, and let's see if we can try to successfully guess who these winners are going to be. Alex Gardner is acknowledging his tribal cat, which you all now have the ability to do with the added Grand Cat emojis. So congratulations once again to all of you. So we have 4 matches on the Elimination Chamber. We have CM Punk as the World Heavyweight Champion going up against Finn Balor. We have Becky Lynch as champion going up against AJ Lee for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We have the 6-person Elimination Chamber, which is Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. And then we have the Men's Elimination Chamber, which is Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jey Uso. So we're going to go over all of these matches. We're going to try and predict who's going to win each of them. We're going to also try and predict what's going to happen at WrestleMania. So we have an awful lot to discuss here in this live stream today. Pataplucci says hi. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for coming along to my live stream. So let's see here. What do we think is going to happen? So I think the first one, CM Punk versus Finn Balor. I think that WrestleMania is not going to be Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor. I think it is going to be Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. So I am fairly confident that CM Punk is winning in that match. Alex Gardner says Punk wins 100%. I completely agree. I think it is too late to go changing the main event of WrestleMania. I think this is to put CM Punk into a position of power as he goes to take on the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. Now this one, I could see it going either way. In fact, actually, I'm more believing that AJ Lee could win this, because this is AJ Lee's first single match in 11 years, and if she were to lose, That would be pretty bad for her. I could see this being the scenario where she wins the Intercontinental Championship at the Elimination Chamber, and Becky Lynch, um, she goes on one of her rants. She demands satisfaction. She demands things to be corrected and such. And we then see it being AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch again for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And perhaps that's the point where Becky Lynch takes the belt back off of her. But I'm not entirely sure. But I can see AJ Lee leaving with the Intercontinental title, and I can see CM Punk leaving with the World Heavyweight title. I could see the two of them having the belts together by the end of the night. Now, let's look at the men's Elimination Chamber first. Alex Garland says, yes, please give AJ Lee a title, please. And yes, because the only title that AJ Lee has ever had was holding the Divas Championship, the Butterfly Championship, one time. Papalucci says, Becky rules. I completely agree. Becky Lynch is on the run of her life right now. I actually think the Women's Intercontinental title feels a lot more important than the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, which is held by Stephanie Vaquer, or the Women's WWE Championship, which is held by Jade Cargill. And that just goes to really showcase Becky Lynch's performance and how much she can draw the audience in, how much she can get hype behind something. I think AJ Lee also has to play a part in that role as well. But I really do think that the Women's Intercontinental title feels a lot more important than any of the world titles at the moment. So, congratulations, Becky Lynch, for that. Let's look at the men's Elimination Chamber. We have a soon-to-be retiring Randy Orton versus an unpushed LA Knight versus a brand new Javon Evans versus just coming up from NXT Trick Williams versus person who was not supposed to be in the Elimination Chamber, Jey Uso, who replaced Bronson Reed because Bronson Reed is out with an arm injury, versus the most likely winner in all of history, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And just because he looks like he's the most obvious to win, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be the one to actually win. So, the winner of this goes on to face Drew McIntyre in the main event of WrestleMania. If Cody Rhodes does not win the Elimination Chamber, what does Cody Rhodes do at WrestleMania? That is an excellent question. Jey Uso will probably be defending the tag team titles alongside Jimmy Uso, so I think he is not going to win the Elimination Chamber. I think Trick Williams is actually going to face Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. I could see that being the match. Javon Evans, I think, is just a little bit too young, a little bit too early to be main eventing WrestleMania. So I don't think it's going to be him. I don't think it's going to be Trick Williams. I don't think it's going to be Jey Uso. LA Knight, unfortunately, they have the chance to push him, and they have just refused for some reason. So I don't see them pushing LA Knight now at this stage, which means that it's realistically between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. When it came to the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre, after winning the belt off of Cody Rhodes, refused to give Cody Rhodes a rematch. Cody Rhodes said he was going to win the Royal Rumble again so they could get that title match and take the belt back off of Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre interfered to claymore Cody Rhodes to stop him from winning the Royal Rumble. It then came to the triple threat match for the qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, of which Drew McIntyre claymored Cody Rhodes to stop him from winning and got Sami Zayn to cover Cody, and Cody Rhodes still managed to kick out. And Cody Rhodes, despite everything, powered through and won his way into the Elimination Chamber. I think Drew McIntyre is going to interfere in the Elimination Chamber, and he is going to try and take out Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes is going to overcome, and he is going to win this one as well. I think Cody Rhodes is winning the Elimination Chamber in spite of Drew McIntyre, and I think it's going to lead into a WrestleMania match where Drew McIntyre has done everything he can, everything in his power to stop Cody Rhodes from getting another shot at his undisputed WB Universal World Heavyweight Championship. But I could also see a scenario where Drew McIntyre costs Cody Rhodes, and with the storyline with Aleister Black, that we see the re-emergence of the old Randy Orton, where he doesn't RKO Cody Rhodes, but he gives him the punt instead. He kicks Cody Rhodes' freaking head off, and you then see this evil version of Randy Orton perhaps making his way to WrestleMania. But for that to happen, Drew McIntyre would need to turn face. And can they turn Drew McIntyre face before WrestleMania? I doubt it. So I am more inclined to think that Cody Rhodes wins the Elimination Chamber. Next up, we have the women's one. Let's actually take a look at the comments here because there's a few of you that are sending messages. Mohammed says, how did you manage to get the AJ Styles limited edition Reward Mania? No, I managed to get it off of the Rarity Draft Board. It cost me quite a lot of money, but we got there. Alex Carter says, I'd love Cody, LA Knight, Randy, or Javon to win. That's quite a lot of people. Kevin Does Dash YouTube says, hey, hello, Kevin. Papatuch says, Pata Palucci, I'm trying to say your name correctly, says, do you think Drew will interfere during his entrance? I think it's more likely that Drew is going to interfere during the Elimination Chamber when someone else has been taken out of the chamber and the door's open. Drew is going to run his way in then. Kevin says, and then Randy RKO's after Cody wins the chamber. Could see that happening as well, yes. RKO to Cody, then Fatal 4-Way at Mania. That would take a lot of booking, I think. I can see where you're going. Perhaps maybe Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre. It feels a little bit like a box of squirrels, and I know that WWE prefers one-on-one single matches. So we would need to see. Leon says, I think Cody doesn't win the Elimination Chamber, but somehow finds a way to slide into the match. I could see that happening as well. But I don't see any of the other people in the Elimination Chamber being ready to go a triple threat match with Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. Except for possibly Randy Orton. Patapolucci says, but Randy would be champions because he needs his glory moment because Cena is gone. Also, there's nothing saying that Randy Orton's actually retiring this year. There's rumors and murmurings that Rey Mysterio is retiring, that Brock Lesnar's retiring, that The Miz is retiring, that Kofi Kingston's retiring, that Michael Cole is retiring. But there isn't actually anyone saying that Randy Orton's retiring this year. So perhaps Randy Orton's actually going to leave it until the following year and see what happens there. Also, R-Truth retiring is another one. Kevin Dunn says, I feel like Randy should be in the main event since Drew attacked him on SmackDown. That's an interesting point. Yes. I don't know what that message was, but it just got immediately retracted. Interesting theories from the Grand Fleet there. Let's move on to the women's Elimination Chamber next. Fabian says, my prediction for Elimination Chamber, Rhea, AJ Lee, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. Those are probably the same ones I'm going to go for. Fabian says, Rhea Ripley has never won an Elimination Chamber. Interesting. Baron says, just got back home and links are shared. Thank you, Baron. Very much appreciate that. So the women's Elimination Chamber is Raquel Rodriguez, Kiana James, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, and Tiffany Stratton. I see there's a few more comments there. We'll go over them in this little bit. Let's talk about the women's Elimination Chamber first. So, I don't think it's going to be Kiana James. I think she is too new. She is also kind of the sidekick to Julia. Just don't see Kiana James winning. I think Asuka is more likely going to be part of the women's tag team title match. I also think Alexa Bliss is going to be there because Alexa Bliss is currently with Charlotte. Asuka is currently with Kairi Sane. And I know that this is the something anniversary of the first TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match that happened at WrestleMania. So people think that there's going to be a six tag team women's tag team championship. That's going to be a ladder match. It's going to be TLC at WrestleMania. So I think Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are going to be two of them. Asuka and Kairi Sane are going to be two of them. It could even very well be Raquel Rodriguez and not Liv Morgan. Oh my goodness. Roxanne Perez. Now, Rhea Ripley, interestingly, is currently tag team champions with Io Sky, but I believe the SmackDown either before or SmackDown after. I think it's SmackDown before. I think it's actually tomorrow night. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley defend the tag titles against the Irresistible Forces, Nia Jax and Lash Legends. Now, I could see a scenario where they drop the tag team titles so that Rhea Ripley can win the Elimination Chamber and Rhea Ripley can go against Jade Cargill. Now, Tiffany Stratton, we have already seen Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill, and I don't see them doing that again. I don't see them running that back. Rhea Ripley is currently in the tag team division, but I think that could be a possible swerve of WWE. I also think that Rhea Ripley is one of the biggest names in WWE right now. Not even female. I mean, if you talk about the top three people in WWE right now, I mean, we're talking like people that are there day in, day out, not The Rock, not Roman Reigns, not Brock Lesnar. But if I were to name the top three people in WWE right now, I would probably say that it's CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and then Rhea Ripley. And I think that is very difficult to argue otherwise. You could say that Drew McIntyre is getting up there to that point. You could say that there's some other huge names like LA Knight is up there, but they're not treated as a huge star. Rhea Ripley is still treated as a huge star, and I would say that Rhea Ripley probably has more star power than any of the women that are currently champion. Stephanie Vacour, Julia, Jade Cargill. So I think if they're trying to boost the level of WrestleMania, you put Rhea Ripley in the title match. So I could 100% see Rhea Ripley winning the Elimination Chamber. And I could even see Io Sky turning heel and reuniting with Asuka and Kairi Sane. I could see that happening with Io Sky being left feeling like she's been discarded by Rhea, who's now going after the world title instead, or the WWE title, I should say. I can see there being storylines there. I don't know what Tiffany Stratton does at WrestleMania, though. And she feels like a really big name to leave off of the card. But I could certainly see Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez teaming up in the tag title match. And I've also heard the rumor of Raquel Rodriguez winning the Elimination Chamber so that Raquel goes after the Women's World Heavyweight Championship and Liv Morgan goes after the World Heavyweight Championship. Both members of Judgment Day. And I just I don't see that happening. I think what's more likely is that Liv Morgan could potentially win the World Heavyweight Championship off of Stephanie Vacour, and that could lead into Liv Morgan defending the belt against Raquel Rodriguez. I could see that being more of a likely scenario rather than two different women in Judgment Day both having World Heavyweight Championships for two different shows. That doesn't make as much sense to me. So, let's go over what we currently have. I think that I'm just going to go ahead and go into general here. I think Cody Rhodes is going to win. I think AJ Lee is going to win. Now, I'm currently still going through campaign mode, so I'm not going to use this particular AJ Lee because I think if you lock in AJ Lee here, I'm not sure if you're allowed to change the equipment on her, and I really need to change equipment if I'm to get through the rest of campaign mode. So instead, I'm going to look for some slightly weaker cards here. So I think I'm also still using this Rhea Ripley as well, unfortunately. So I think I need to keep hold of that one. Okay, who do we have? American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. I could see him winning. Did I go past him there? I think I might have. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, Rhea Ripley, I think, is most likely to win the Elimination Chamber, the female one. So we're looking for an AJ Lee and a CM Punk. Well, there's a perfect CM Punk for us. And then it's just AJ Lee that we are looking for. And AJ Lee, if I am correct in thinking, it's a down arrow. Sorry, I thought it was an up arrow. Let's see if we can find an AJ Lee among here. There we are. Okay, so there is my predictions. But we have 2 spaces left over. So, who could we give those other predictions to? Becky Lynch could retain against AJ Lee. Finn Balor is definitely not losing. Well, Finn Balor is definitely losing. CM Punk is definitely winning. There's no way that they're changing CM Punk versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I could see Becky Lynch losing the belt to AJ Lee. I could also see Becky Lynch retaining. I think Cody Rhodes is definitely winning the men's Elimination Chamber. I don't think it's LA Knight. I don't think it's Randy Orton. I don't think it's Javon Evans. I don't think it's Trick Williams. And I sure as hell hope that it's not Jey Uso. In the women's one, it's not going to be Kiana James or Asuka. I don't think it's going to be Alexa Bliss or Raquel Rodriguez. Some people have said Alexa Bliss, which confuses me a little. I could see a scenario where Tiffany Stratton wins, though. So I'm going to put in Tiffy time, Tiffany Stratton in here as well. I think it's definitely either Rhea or Tiffany. I don't see anyone other than Cody Rhodes winning the Elimination Chamber. CM Punk is definitely beating Finn Balor. And the only other one that I have to question myself on is Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. So let's look for a Becky Lynch. And it's not just her saying it, everyone's saying it. Sports Illustrated is saying it, that she is the best female wrestler on the planet right now. And if you don't ask her, if you don't believe her, ask her yourself. So there are my 6 predictions. I definitely think that Cody Rhodes is winning the Elimination Chamber. I really don't see it being Randy Orton, LA Knight, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, or Jey Uso. I really think that Rhea or possibly Tiffany Stratton are winning the Women's Elimination Chamber. I don't see it being Asuka, Kiana James, Raquel Rodriguez, And I also don't see Alexa Bliss, but I have heard people saying that. Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, I think it's more likely for AJ Lee to win, but I could also see Becky Lynch retaining. And then we have CM Punk versus Finn Balor. I think CM Punk is 100% definitely winning in that match. And I could even see it being that Finn Balor is about to beat CM Punk and Dominic Mysterio either intentionally or unintentionally costs Finn Balor the match, and that at WrestleMania we could see Dominic Mysterio defending the Intercontinental Championship against Finn Balor. So let's now read some of the comments before we head. So let's see here. Patapulucci says, "Who is the masked man?" I think the question is that ever going to be revealed? Because now Seth Rollins is injured, Braun Breaker's injured, Bronson Reed is injured. The division now currently consists of Logan Paul and Austin Theory. The main rumor that I heard was that it was Grayson Waller, whether it's Grayson Waller that actually is revealed to be the masked man or not. But Grayson Waller, of course, does have that history with Austin Theory. But I really don't think that it's Seth Rollins. I'm not sure that the masked man will ever be revealed. Kevin says, "Do you think the Kit Wilson limited edition will be a code?" I'm honestly unsure, because we've only got a week left of Royal Rumble tier, and I don't see how they give away another limited edition card, considering we're already doing the limited edition AJ Styles card at the moment. So I'm wondering if the Kit Wilson maybe just stays back a tier and then gets released for the next tier, whatever the next tier is. I'm honestly unsure. Fabian says, "What is your favorite Elimination Chamber moment?" My favorite Elimination Chamber moment. I actually do have one. There is a very old Elimination Chamber where Triple H is actually legitimately injured, where he's not wearing his usual ring gear. He's wearing the kind of longer shorts. He's got a tear in his hamstring, I believe, and Goldberg is running amok. I think Goldberg eliminates all of the other competitors, spears, jackhammers everywhere. It's very possible that one person was eliminated by someone else other than Goldberg before Goldberg came out of the chamber. He spears people through the chamber and everything. And Ric Flair, as part of Evolution, hands the sledgehammer to Triple H, and Triple H sort of hides the sledgehammer behind his back, and Goldberg goes for the spear. And as one of the coolest moments is Triple H sidesteps the spear and hits Goldberg on the back of the head with the sledgehammer while Goldberg is doing the spear, and that knocks out Goldberg, allows Triple H to get the win. A lot of people at the time really hated it because they didn't want Triple H to retain his championship. They wanted Goldberg to win the title, but I thought it was a really, really cool moment. It's one of the few times that Goldberg has been beaten and pinned, and it's just a very, very cool way to do it. The next pay-per-view, Goldberg gets a one-on-one match against Triple H and beats him for the title, but in that particular moment, I thought that was very, very cool. Tony Ross says, "Hey, Grandcat." Hello, Tony Ross. Fabian says, "Rhea Ripley, Io Sky will dethrone Nia Jackson Lash Legend and retain the Women's Tag Team Championships." Okay. Alex Garner says, "I've almost got the Stone Cold Limited Edition." Okay, well, I would recommend getting on that because there's not an awful lot of time left. Patapulucci says, "Alexa Bliss can cause a surprise." That certainly would be a surprise to me. The Savior says, "They really got to add a search feature." Yes, a search feature would help out tremendously. Edward Seek says, "Hi." Hello, Edward Seek. Patapulucci says, "CM Punk for sure," and Rhea Ripley. Dark Wolf says, "I would say Alexa to get Charlotte mad because Charlotte couldn't qualify for the chamber. And if Alexa wins, she goes to WrestleMania and rubs it in Charlotte's face." Okay, that's a cool storyline. I can see where that's coming from. That's a very, very good way to say it. Edward Seek says, "So who do you think's going to win?" literally everyone that you see on the screen right now. But yes, Dark Wolf, I can actually see that now. That I mean, there has been a little bit of, like the best friends, like we're not friends thing with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss slowly having cracks in it. And I could see that if Alexa Bliss does win, that Charlotte Flair would not be entirely pleased with that. Alex Gardner says Road to Glory starts in 39 minutes. Yes, you have 39 minutes left to prepare for the final event of Royal Rumble 2016. For anyone wondering why I'm using these lower cards, from like static tier and everything, it's because I'm still trying to play through campaign mode, and when things are locked into the watch party, once it begins, then I can't remember if it actually lets you swap out the equipment that's on them, which is something that I very much need for campaign mode. And it certainly does not let you pro cards or remove cards once they're in the Elimination Chamber. So once they're in the watch party even. So that's why I'm using the older cards here. Patapolucci says, yes, Road to Glory is my favourite. Alex Garden says, apart from the team event, haha, that's the last event of the Royal Rumble. Yes, of course, there is a team event that will follow on from Road to Glory. And if we take a look at our deck here, let's go ahead and autofill that. There you can see that is a very, very stacked Road to Glory. You can see that everything is actually a special edition or limited edition Royal Rumble 26 card. Our weakest card is actually the Royal Rumble 26 Gunther, which is very, very cool indeed. With females, we have, of course, the F3 Special Edition Bayley. We've got the AJ Lee Battle Pass. We've got the Jade Cargo. And the other one is Blake Monroe, but that's currently because I'm using up arrows at the moment. If we were to take a look at all of the females, Liv Morgan would probably be like the next one, but I am trying to work on getting that Maxine Dupree as well. And there you can see all of our cards. Currently, El Grande Americano is our strongest one because he's got the equipment on, because we are currently going through campaign. Otherwise, the AJ Styles and the Stone Cold Steve Austin would be the two strongest cards. So that's the reason for that. And I'm going to change this one over to Paul Heyman. And I'm going to change this one to Low Blow. So there we've got power and toughness to the entire deck, speed and charisma to self, power and toughness to the opponent, and that is everything all set up for Road to Glory. Alex Carter says, Team Road to Glory, yay, straight after Road to Glory. Yes. Dark Wolf says, I'm one microphone away from getting a Bayley Pro. That's very, very cool. Alex Carter says, I would change Bayley to an up arrow just for Road to Glory, so your women tag. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, actually. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go into equipment. And there we go. And you also may have just seen that we do have a brand new equipment, which is the Elimination Chamber Crate. And you can get your own Elimination Chamber Crate right now off of the WWE Supercard website. It is a free pack. It's also got an Elimination Chamber pack that has a couple of different cards in it for you. So definitely well worth grabbing and picking up. Now let's see here. Who else has the other ones? Is currently AJ Styles and Finn Balor, which they are both in here, I believe. There's our Finn Balor, yes, and of course our AJ Styles. So there we are. My Road to Glory is all set up. Once again, there is my watch party predictions for anyone that just wanted to see the very, very end of it. Leon says, I think Finn is winning his match against CM Punk. That would be huge. That would be very, very huge. Alex Garner says, you're welcome. And 1,500 backstage tokens are in the gift. 1,500? You sure it's not 500? 1,500 is a lot. 1,500 backstage tokens? Is that really what's in there? Because That's huge. Huge. But anyway, folks, that is going to be it for this little video. And I really hope that you've all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video.